A few months ago, my level of dissatisfaction climbed to the high heavens, and I knew it was time to do something challenging, otherwise I would get completely deflated. Many years ago, I had a plan to do something that will be a backbone to how I want to exit this world and what I would like to leave behind as an inheritance to the next generation. I kept pushing the plan forward because I felt it was too expensive, and I thought it would be time consuming, and probably the commitments it requires will make me earn less for now. Because of these excuses, I endured impediments and stomached all the rubbish that I shouldn't, where I shouldn't, until one night I reached the peak of frustration. Without giving a damn and with so much anger in my mind, I reached out for the computer and began to make inquiries. I sent tens of emails, lots of emails, and in 2 days, I started getting responses of what to do. It took me close to 17 weeks of the year to fight for what I wanted. I cried so many times, as most responses I was getting was a rejection. That's what usually happens in life. To rub it in, some organizations, knowing fully well I was qualified, would lead me into believing that I have a place. They made me write essays and undergo interviews, and in the end came up with ludicrous excuses for rejection. In spite of that, I didn't stop. What made it tough for me was because I wasn't going for anything. I was going for ratings and rankings. I wanted something that would help me compete in the world, so I went for it. There were easy ones, but I didn't want those easy ones because they wouldn't take me to where I want to be. In the end, I got what I wanted because I didn't give up. So if you're there with a plan in your head, or fed up of where you are, and you want to go for that dream, let me advise you on what to do. First, you must identify your starting point. Identify your beginning. The beginning of a building is the foundation, not the roof. The beginning of education is reading and writing. The beginning of a business is ideas. Find out where you should start, because if you don't, you keep beating about the bush. Each person's beginning is unique. Don't use another person's as yours. It's you alone that know where you stopped and where you should start from. So secondly, after identifying your beginning, brush yourself up. There are lots of things you did in the past that will act as foundations for where you want to be, for your new start. And you may have forgotten most of the things you learned in the past. So go back and brush yourself up. If, for instance, you are going back to school, the things you learned 10 years ago aren't in your head anymore. Go back on your own volition, in your own time, and committedly, and brush up. Another thing you must do is find out who runs the next page of your life. If you're starting a business, for instance, find out the organizations responsible for registrations and the ones responsible for advice, the others responsible for loans, and those responsible for support for small and medium scale enterprises. You need all the support to get to where you want to get to. As you do your research, apply yourself to where you stopped. It's not enough to inquire and not take actions. You need to move with your inquiries and be very determined, because what will shock you first is the high level of negativities you will get. There'll be lots of discouraging outcomes. There'll be lots of rejections. There'll be lots of refusals, all for the flimsy reasons in the world. You get to where you want to give up, but don't. You must continue. Never take a no for an answer. As one says no, go for another, and another, and another. Continue going, because after the rejections, there'll be lots of acceptances behind every negativity. So don't stop. Follow that dream. Go for it. Find it. Apply yourself to it. Research upon it and become what you want to become.